What's up, people, man? It's your boy Spaces, man, and today we are here, man. I wanted to jump on and show something that I've been asked a lot, and that is, what is the best chord progression creator or creation plugin? Number one, I want to start off by, I've been a little sick lately, so I'm a little stuffy, so if I sound different, just know it's because of that. But I have 4 different ones we're going to look at, 4 ones that I use and I know. And we're going to talk about those 4, which ones are good, which one is best for you. I never think there's just a best one. I think there's best ones for individual people based on whatever it is that they're looking for. So we're going to talk about that. But first, make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you like this particular video and share it, man. And join the Patreon, man. I found some value over there that we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about how you make money as a producer and content creator. It kind of go hand in hand. The last video, we talked about some affiliate stuff. So make sure you go join the Patreon. Link is in the description. But let's go ahead and dive into this particular video here. We're going to look at these 4. And the 4 here is Chord Jam. This is Instacomposer 2. And of course, Scalar 2. Which will soon be Scalar 3, and then LANDR Composer. Now, the one thing that I want to talk about with these 4 is that they have different use, all right? So they're going to be different in their own way, but depending on what you're trying to do, one may be better for that situation than the other, okay? So I want to set that up because I'm going to be explaining it in that way and give some different scenarios so you can kind of see what that looks like, okay? So I'm going to show you this here. So we'll go back. Let's start with Scalar 2. With Scalar 2, it's going to basically recognize the chords you play, and it's going to suggest chord progressions based on music theory. There's a lot of built-in scales and modes, works very well with beginners and advanced producers. Now, if this is good, so if maybe you don't know music theory, maybe you have no idea, maybe you just know it sounds good, you don't have any music theory, and you want to create a progression, it's going to be great for scales. It will even detect scales. There's even pre-made quote unquote songs by different artists. I guess you could say like producers or whatever the case may be in there that you can line up and create patterns to. So this is perfect for a beginner that don't know chords and whatever the case may be. Let's be real. Let's be real here. Let's be real. All of us do not know how to play every instrument. Okay. We don't know how to play every instrument. Most of us are bedroom producers, and we're going to be producing out of our bedroom. Most of us ain't got budgets to go get a drummer for this, a piano for this, saxophone player for this. We don't have it like that. And so being good at whatever it is that you're good at, create from whatever that is, okay? I know there's this big deal about, people not doing everything, and it's okay. It's just produce good music, bro. That's all I would tell you, okay? All right, just forget a lot of the things a lot of people say, man. Just people will keep you distracted. Anyway, that is my rant. I'm done. We're going to look at Chord Jam. Chord Jam it randomly generate chord progressions. They have a 1-click randomizer for instant inspiration, and you can export MIDI with full control in your DAW. So basically here, you can hit this little button, it'll just generate all these different ideas. And so you can even randomly generate even from chords. So it'll change chords and scales and all these different things. And you can really go in here and identify all these different chords and progressions that you want to create. And also you can actually play these with one finger. Okay, if you hit one finger, it'll play a whole chord. It'll do the whole thing. And it'll give you velocity, timing, arpeggiate if you want to, inversions, the whole 9. There's even a way you can add a sequencer, and there's also a way that you can even add pads. So it's very intuitive. This one is going to be good for, I think, a beginner also and an advanced player. This one's going to be good for if you want to maybe set a sequence and maybe you don't want it to stay within, let's say, a C minor. You got a C minor and you're just going down the chords in the C minor chords, right? Or progression or whatever. But maybe you want to add a sus chord versus a minor chord or a major, or whatever the case may be. They have all kind of different ways you could do it, and you could change the velocity of it. You could change the time, how you actually play it, so you can make it more realistic. And so it has so many different ways to do that. This one's going to be the one that you can get away with like these. Sometimes like you get away with accidents. I've come across different accidents that I've created with these, and it actually sounded good. And so with that, it is like, just make sure that, you keep it recorded or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So that is Audiomodern Chordjam. Okay. That is Chord Jam. So now let's look back here. Next one we're going to be looking at is here, LANDR Composer. Now with LANDR's Composer, it is AI powered chord progression generator. This one is AI. This is a simple interface with suggested changes, best for producers who do not want to overthink theory. Okay. Now, as you can see here, I have a video on this one that I have done, so I'm not going to go deep into the program itself, but here's your progression line. Here's your chords. You can add bass, melodies, and arpeggiator. You can generate different chord progressions here. You can generate different timing. You can actually go in here and create your progression based on these different modes if you want to. So this is great for quick, no fuss chord progression. If you want something simple and effective, this is going to be the one, okay? Now, this one's going to be a very, very, very simple plugin that you can use. And I'm going to show you how they all are set up in your DAW to actually be able to create from them. This one is a little bit different than the rest of them, so I'm going to show you that later on in the video, okay? All right, so next I'm going to go back here. We have this one. This is Instacomposer 2. This one's kind of like LANDR, but it's a little bit more complex. It uses an algorithm to create the full musical phrase. It actually generates melody, bass line, and chords also. They're all together just like LANDR's, but this one is going to be more for an advanced composer or maybe even film score. And the reason I say that, a little bit more complex, is this little area here where you can really dial in what you're really looking for. And it's going to basically generate a progression based on this. So you have your general, you have your pattern and velocity, and then you have your harmony and time. So this can get really, really complicated, and it can really get like this has a learning curve. You have to really learn Instacomposer 2. I think out of probably, if I'm looking at the ease of use of these, I would probably say LANDR is the easiest one. Probably Scalar 2 is going to be after that. Then you got Chord Jam, and then probably Instacomposer 2 in that order. And again, this is just based on whatever it is you're looking for. If you're new and you're just getting into it, I would probably say LANDR would probably be the easiest one to really learn is LANDR. LANDR, you can just generate. It's not going to be very difficult to get started with it, okay? Scalar 2 the same. I feel like Chord Jam is a little simpler too, but it can be complex because you can kind of get lost in the sauce of whatever it is that you're doing in there. So I think with probably, if you're talking about being able to like really customize the progression that you're trying to get, I would probably say Scalar 2 would probably be the easiest one because you can go in there. It has all of them kind of lined up where you can just pick one and drag it down. And Scalar 3 looks the exact same. It looks pretty much the same when it comes to that part. Now, Instacomposer will probably be number 2 when it comes to customization and really controlling the sound that you're looking for. Then I would probably say Chord Jam would probably be after that, and then LANDR. That would be my order. And I use all of them. So depending on what I'm trying to do, that's going to kind of fall into that degree in that area. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is the actual export from MIDI and DAW integration. Okay. So I'm going to break down how these look here. So we'll get rid of all of these and we're going to go step by step to each one. We'll start with Chord Jam. So I have Chord Jam. Now I have, this is Bitwig, and I have Chord Jam, and I have this complete control here, right? Now, you have to actually trigger your plugin here with Chord Jam. So in Bitwig, you're basically having an input of Chord Jam, and then it's going to go into complete control, right? Now, if you have those two up and you're bringing them together, we'll just bring that one and that one. Let's see, bring those two in here. And so I'm going to send a signal from here, from Chord Jam to complete control here, right? So I have to make sure both are activated. And if I hit one button, it's going to play, right? And it's going to play there. Now, I still have control of my plugin, right? I still have control of it, but I also can play my chords over here. Now, the dope thing about Chord Jam is this. You can go and set infinity. Like, Audiomodern with the infinity is like everything. I love the infinity that they have on here. So I could come in here and set infinity, and I'm going to drag this back because I want it to be off just a little bit, not too much, right? And so every time I hit one, it's gonna that time is gonna be different. Now I can do the same thing for velocity. So every time I hit this, is gonna be a different velocity within these two bars. I love that. I can come in here, I can create me a scale, C minor, and then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and set this part as infinity, which is gonna use different chord type within C minor. Right? So now I can literally come in here, I can take this, randomize, right? So like I said again, this one is a little, it takes some getting used to, but once you learn it, it's pretty simple. And also I'll show you this. If I go in here, I can even set up my sequences. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull from an expansion that I did with Audiomodern. Shout out to them. This is Colorful. Colorful is one that I created. We'll just click on one of them. Here's a sequence now. Right now, this is very simple to set this up in sequences. So if I want to, let's just go back to default, right? Go back to a regular whatever. I can come in here. Let's say if this is the chord that I found one. Let's say if that one is the one I want to just take it here, drag it until I want it to stop. Next one, take that one here. Say if I wanted to stop here, take that one here, and then drag that one over here. So now, right? And so now I have set up a sequence for my chord progression based on what I chose that to be. I can go ahead and select any chord that I want and add to my progression. I just need to know the timing. There's also a way in here to get what they call the robot, which is kind of like AI in a sense, but it uses what is called smart chords that make sense to the progression that you're using. So that is also an option. So again, that is probably the most creative one out of the bunch would be Chord Jam. That'll be the most creative one in my opinion. Like I said, again, you can go here to the Chord Jam, and you can actually drag this out and put it on the session, right? You can drag it out and it'll play it like that. It's just a drag and drop feature, okay? All right, so next we're gonna look at Instacomposer 2 and the way this is set up. All right, so I'm gonna activate this and I am going to create. Now, the one thing out of this one that you cannot do is that you can't drag and make this one bigger or smaller like the rest of them. You have to come here and actually change the scaling. So just a quick note on that. Now, I'm going to add my tool here, my plugin that I'm going to be activating, which is Pigments. All right, so I have that here. Now, what I have to do to this is that I have to trigger this to Pigment or whatever plugin that you're going to be using. Of course, the same exact way you're going to use it as an import, but on this one it's just a little bit different, okay? So when you're here, you have track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if you're on track 1, you have to activate the channel that represents whichever. So if I'm on track 2, this channel will be set at 2. So you have to make sure you check that part first. Now, I'm going to set a scale here. This is going to be C minor. And I'm going to generate some chords, right? So we're going to go with that. And then I'm just going to hit go. It's going to add my chords here. Now, what you'll see, once I play this, right? Now, as you can see, this mode is set to melody. So it's set as a melody. So what we want to do, we just want to add chords. Okay, so I'm going to generate chords again. I'm going to hit go. And now you have chords. All right. Now I could come here and I'm going to add I'm going to add some more. I'm going to add more scale chords. I'm going to do some random chords. I'm going to do a little combo, add a couple fill-ins and sustain a little bit in the halfway there. So I'm going to hit go again, generate some chords. There we go. All right, so now I have that progression going on. So I can now take that and add to right here and just drag and drop this into my DAW. There you go. So you have this progression now. Now, what I want to do, I want to take that and go, let's go back to here. We're going to take this, we're going to change it to channel 2. We're going to change this to Instacomposer. Then we're going to go to track 2 and we're going to create a melody. We're going to use those same things and then we're going to generate here and it's going to generate me a melody. So if I want to generate something else, I can generate something else. Right? So now I am generating another riff, another melody within the same chord progression that I set my chords up with. So definitely really dope plugin for chord generation. So like I said, again, it's just a little complicated to understand it, but once you understand it, you could definitely create some things with it for sure. Bass lines, melodies, riffs, the whole nine, you can go in on it, okay? All right, so that's Instacomposer. Now with, let's say with the Landers, we're going to get rid of that. And now Landers, we're going to, let's go ahead and pull this back up here. We're going to go back to Landers. And now with Landers, you do not have to initiate anything in here. You just have to play the chords. All right, and you can go over here, generate a new chord progression. So if you click on it, it's going to activate all these different areas. You can turn your volume up. You can even add pan if you wanted to, something like that. But what I want to do is that I want to sync with my DAW, number one, right? You got to make sure it's activated. Then I'm going to come here because I want to generate something different. So I can add a spread. I can add some strum, octaves, and a number of voices. Right. And so from here, after I generate what I want, I just grab this and drag it on to where I want that to play at. Yes, I would like to enjoy the tempo. Just that simple. See, like I said, it's very simple to use. You just create, drag, and drop. Same thing. If I wanted to add a melody, it'll generate a melody. All right, so I'm gonna add a little bit more, a little complexity, variation. Right. So same thing. If I take this, I'll drag it out here. We do want to keep it. Right. And so now you have created chord progression and melody. Composer is very, very simple to use. It does not take a lot to do it with that add. All right, now we have scalar. Now with scalar, you can initiate this or you don't have to. Now, me personally, I like to initiate it because I like to hear the instrument that I'm playing. Right? So I like to hear the actual instrument that I'm playing. So if I wanted to do a different variation of this, I could add like dubbing now. Right? Or let's say here, C. So I can add some different variations of the C if I don't want just a basic C. Now, if I want a basic C, I can just add a triad, right? So I could even go here, go to Dorian mode. Right? All kind of different things in there. I can even take this and say I want to do a 1, 3, 5, right? If I want to do that, I can add the pattern to it. I can edit it if I wanted to. I can take it up an octave, inversions, semitones. I can even add some things to the timing if I wanted to, playback if I wanted to. Is all kind of different things I could do it here. But like I said, again, this one is a little bit more complicated. You have to know a little bit about what you're doing on this one. So you have to kind of have an idea. And you could go through here, go through your notes, select any note you want, all kind of types. This thing has a bunch of types in it. And you can even go in here and change some of the voicings. You can humanize it a little bit. You got key locks. You can even, like, if you want to hit one key just to see what it sounds like, you can. Now, this one has different sounds you can actually use in it, which I think is dope. And so now you have MIDI capture going. All right. I think I did the wrong one. Yeah, there it is. You can drag it, right? And so that's pretty cool too. I love that part of it. So this is Scalar 2. Now, Scalar 3 is on its way. It won't be long before it drops. I think it drops in March. So we may have to do that once we come back with the Scalar 3. But as of right now, Scalar 2 is still dope. So this one is a little complex when it comes down to the creativity and inspiration. The way I look at creativity is just a workflow. So if you have a workflow with this one, it's definitely great. Definitely great. So all in all, to me, again, depending on what you're looking at, if you're a beginner, I think LANDR is going to be your best bet. After that, I think Chord Jam will be a good one after that. And I think Scalar is after that. And it's very simple. But when you get to Scalar and Instacomposer 2, it's a little bit more difficult in my opinion. This is just my opinion. Now, if you're advanced and you can really dial in. And then I'm going to go in reverse. I'm going to say Instacomposer, then I'm going to say Scalar 2, then Chord Jam, then LANDRs. So it just depends on where you're at and what you're looking for. If you are a film score, cinematic film score, I'm definitely telling you Instacomposer 2 for sure. Instacomposer 2 for sure. If you are a cinematic creator, you create cinematic music, trailer music, or whatever the case may be, definitely Instacomposer. But if you're a hip hop, R&B, then I'm going to put you on the LANDR Chord Jam side. Either one of them can be great. Like I said, it just really depends on what you're looking at. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. And we'll be back here real soon, man. I got some more stuff we got to go over. I'm feeding you knowledge, man. Make sure, thank all of the guys. The only one that I do not have an affiliate link with is LANDRs. But for the rest of them, they're going to be affiliate links in the bottom. If you want to support your boy, you can. Doesn't add anything to it. Doesn't take anything away. Just helps the channel grow and continue to grow. And I'll see y'all in the next video, man. Peace out.